The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, we've got Willies, we've got Jacksons, we've got Shyamalan Lama Lama Ding Dongs, and what is, in this humble podcaster's opinion, the greatest comic book origin story ever committed to celluloid. I've been waiting for this one for a long time, friends. It's Unbreakable. I'm Riggs.
And I'm Eddie.
And this is the Film Addicts podcast. Hey, fellow film addicts, and welcome back to the show. We're so happy to have you here and to join us, for what is a film that is Addie hates. So
I never said I hated
it. Just before we did the intro, I was like, "Did you like the movie?" And they were like, "Nah, I don't really like the movie." I was like, "Oh no!" But we're gonna do it anyway. What's going on, pal?
Oh man, just like a ton of anxiety. And a ton of stress.
Oh, good.
And a ton of fucking porn.
A ton of porn.
No, that's not true.
Anxiety, stress, and porn all go very, very well together.
Yeah. Recipe of absolute complete disaster in all forms.
Oh, yeah. That's disassociation time. We love it. Whenever I think things are tough, and someone asks me what's going on, I'm like, life, man. And I always think about Leo in One Battle After Another. It's like, life, man. Life! Because that's kind of how it feels. Well, apart from that, what's been going on?
Nothing much, to be honest. I've been fucking slammed by my semester schedule. And on Friday, I had a 16-hour day.
Fucking cock.
Yeah. Followed by
from when to when? Like what's the, were you up at like 3 or what happened?
Yeah, so like the commute takes 2.5 hours one way.
What?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. My brain has collapsed. You travel 2.5 hours both ways every day to go to school.
Yeah.
Fucking quit, whatever it is. I don't care how important it is to you. That is not worth it. What do you do on the commute?
Honestly, fighting my sleep, and then as soon as I get to the class, I'm like sleep deprived because I've been up for 4 hours already.
Yeah, that's brutal. So sorry, your schedule's really packed. How come?
Yeah, I mean it's just classes, but like on Friday I had 2 that I didn't have the previous week. So usually, like on Friday, I just have my photography class, it's a 4-hour class, but because I know how to handle my shit with cameras, I do my assignment and then I'm done by like 10:30.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I had 2 extra classes on Friday, and it was back to back to back, and it was then followed by a family obligation that I had to go to. It's like I left home at 5:30, and I was back home at 1 a.m.
Wow, that's a big one. Anybody out there complaining about their commute? Shut the fuck up. Permanently shut the fuck up. Well, that sucks. We should talk about some fun stuff then, some things that you did. Did you have any time to watch anything?
I did actually. I've been watching some stuff, but how are you doing?
I'm the same as I always am, completely oblivious to the fact that you will always ask that question. I'll always forget that you can ask that question. Yeah, I'm okay. Just like I said before, I'm auditioning for a play a little bit later today, which could be fun. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. And yeah, I've kind of got maybe 2 more production days left scheduled, and then everything's kind of clearing up, and I'm just in post-production on a few things and going to take a bit of time because the last 18 months has absolutely fucked me raw in the ass in terms of time and getting stuff done, and I want to have more time to write and pod and stuff. So, yeah, just reevaluating things. I'm really tired too. The boys are just fucking, I don't know, there must be the hot weather and stuff. They sleep all day and then they're up all night doing fucking cartwheels and shit. Like, meow, flip, meow, flip, meow, flip, just all over the fucking house. So they tend to keep me up, the fuckers. It's like the thing they're so cute. Should we talk and then fuck my hole? Should we talk about what we've been watching?
Yes, we should watch about fucking your hole.
That's a very different. That's behind a paywall. I'll tell you that much. We'd have to be on Patreon for that one to happen. Fucking hell, just my anus taking it. Okay, all right. 5 minutes in, and I'm already taking it. What? What
are we
watching? Marty Supreme is aptly named. I went to the Astor to see it because it was one of the only places in Melbourne that's screening it in 70mm, and it is fucking excellent. It would have been in my top 5 had I seen it last year, but it wasn't released here at that time. It's only just got a release now, but it was a 2025 film. Just exceptional. Just absolute non-stop literally edge of your seat. I was looking around the room towards the end of the picture, and there were people like sitting forward on their chairs, just like waiting for things to happen. Timothy Chalamet is fucking... Did I get it right this time?
Yeah.
Yay. He's going to get an Oscar. Like, I don't know who else is up for it at this point in time, but he is transformed. It's incredible. So well made, so well shot. Just, yeah, an exceptional picture. So I do suggest you go out and see it. Also watched the Netflix series His and Hers, which is like a 6-series, like a limited series, a 6-episode limited series with John Bernthal and she played Valkyrie.
Tessa Thompson,
thank you. And they play sort of an estranged husband and wife, and the husband is a police officer who's investigating a crime, investigating the murder of a woman who he was involved with, and she's a reporter who's like digging into it. It's a lot more complicated than that, but it got to the end and I'm like, what the fuck is this fucking teen movie slasher bullshit wrap up halfway through your last episode crap? This is fucking horseshit. I watched all these episodes and this is what it is. Fuck you. And then the second half of the last episode happened and I was like, this is one of the best shows I've ever watched. So I'm not going to say any more, but that should tell you how good. It's really good. Like, it's well produced, it's well acted, it's well directed and all that stuff. But I was just disappointed with it. I was like, what is it? Fuck off. Like, that's it. It's like, fucking, I know what you did last Bernthal. But it changes up the game completely. And the other thing that I did, I've been rewatching the Buffy the Vampire Slayer spin-off Angel. And I got to the 5th season, which is my favorite season. It ramps up really well and they end up sort of taking over the evil law firm that's been lording over the whole series. And pound for pound, like, it's the best episodes. They're not all connected. Like, there's a thread, there's a through line, but some of them are really like whack. Like, in one episode, the main character gets turned into a puppet. Like, he gets into a relationship with a werewolf. Like, you know, there's robot ninjas and all this kind of stuff. But the sort of the last 6 or 7 episodes of that are fucking gut-wrenching. You know, if anybody who knows the show, particular character passes on but is still in the mix in another form, and the man who loved her has to contend with that, and that character's arc from the 3rd season of Buffy all the way to this final season, and the way his story ends is just, you know, it shakes me every time. And the final moment of that show, it's one of the best endings in TV history. It's just, you know, it's such a perfect close. But I think the thing that really noticed this time was, those of you who know Buffy and Angel know the character Spike, the vampire who, sort of like a Billy Idol kind of, proxy. And he started out as a villain and he has a previous with Angel. But during the the later seasons of Buffy, he got into a relationship with her while he was still a vampire. He was still, well, I mean, he's always been a vampire, but while he didn't have a soul. And he fell in love with her and all that stuff. And, it sounds kind of hokey when you say it out loud like that, but then he literally goes out of his way, like he fights to get his soul back, and becomes a champion and goes on to save the world and fight evil. But I was thinking about it in terms of, those characters. The character of Angel was made into, this wasn't his name was Liam. He was turned into a vampire and he became Angelus, this evil, sort of legendarily evil villain. And he had a soul forced on him by Romanian gypsies after he killed killed a daughter in the gypsy clan. And it was so that he would suffer for all time. Whereas Spike went out to regain his soul. And I think it's a much more interesting character because the inside him, like, he's battling the demon before he has the soul. Like, the part of him that was a good man when he was a human is already combating the evil without the soul in place. And then when he gets one, he's the same dude, but he doesn't have that battle going on anymore. That's really fucking interesting. And I'd never really hit on that part before until the end of it. And I was like, he's the one who survives all of this and then goes on to, continue to have adventures or whatever, or in my head he does. But just the idea of this guy making the choice to be good, even though he's like possessed by a demon that wants to do bad, and still fights it, is just, it's a really, really interesting arc, and I hadn't noticed it before. So yeah, they were my watches.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a good series. It's worth your time if you like Buffy. Angel is just as good.
I did watch Before Sunrise for my film club, which was always a cathartic experience, knowing what those two people become. And the fun part about that was that like both of my friends hadn't watched it before, and so not only was this like the first time they were like watching it, they didn't even know that there were two other films that take place 9 years later.
Yeah, right.
And so I had the hindsight of like actually like talking about like the foreshadowing of what these characters become in the very beginning of the film. But yeah, Before Sunrise is incredible, amazing. I tried watching Blue Moon and I got like 50 minutes into it. And I was like, this is because like Linklater is trying to do Casablanca. Like very, 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 very definitely trying to do that because it takes place in a bar, all of it. However, it's sort of snarky and like inside baseball kind of talk, which really bored me. But I feel like Ethan Hawke might just win Best Actor for it because he is so good. Like the dialogue is boring, but his performance is so captivating that the boringness was like second to fucking trash because I was enjoying his performance. And then Margaret Qualley is in it. And it's really weird what they do, and I don't know if it's a real story or not because I think it is based on a real person. But yeah, I genuinely feel like Ethan Hawke might take it, although I haven't finished the film, but he might because he's just a sensational actor.
Right on.
Right. So the actual thing that I wanted to talk about was I've finally finished The Sopranos. And I've forgotten to talk about it for like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took over Avatar: The Last Airbender for me and is in my top 5.
Amazing.
And I feel like it's there because I took a break from it as well. Like I let it go to a point where I was like, okay, if I continue now, I'll probably not like it as much because it feels like a chore. And then I binged the entirety of The Rookie.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I feel like that break was needed. But it is technically, on a technical level, the best show ever written.
Yeah, that's a pretty good argument.
And I feel like if like I had to rank it critically in my top 5, it would probably be like number 1. But the other 2 that I have before it are just they hold a really special place in my heart. Like my number 1 is Normal People.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
it doesn't have to be what's the better show. It's just how you feel about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just The Sopranos makes you feel for a character who doesn't like deserve you to feel that way about them.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's exactly what you said about Marty Supreme. You were like, isn't the lead character horrible? I'm like, yeah, he is. But you fucking can't help but root for it.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I've only heard people like I idealize.
No,
that.
yeah, but I just go in with that mindset, you know, like you feel like this. I can see like Tony, you know.
Yeah,
and they learn lessons.
I would argue Tony doesn't.
Yeah, okay. There's a few that he doesn't. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there are things that happen in the last season. Because the entirety of the show, I've been really, really like on the train with Tony. Like I know he like does bad things, but I wasn't convinced that he's a bad person. And then when he does the one thing that I was like, oh shit, it all just clicks. And like the thing is, it's so perfectly done and it's so incredibly well written that as soon as that happens, you realize, oh, I was the one who was wrong in believing that this man has humanity and is not selfish. But he is that way. He's been that way since season 1. It's just that you've been so like enamored by his charm and, you know, been in his shoes for so long that you kind of justify the things that he does until he does the thing that you cannot justify. And he does it alone with like nobody watching. And then he celebrates it. When that happened, I was like, oh no, fuck him with all my heart. This is one of the best endings for a show that I've ever watched, honestly. Because it just ends. And it is like it has the feeling of, you know, these are the years that we spend with this person and this family, and now we don't, right? This is where we stop. But I feel like that the entire scene at the end is like the anxiety that you feel about what's going to happen, and like everything can blow up in every second. It's the first time that the show puts you in that position. And for a show to have done 6 seasons of incredible writing and then to do something so different and not like something that the audience feel doesn't fit with the tone and surprises the audience at the very last second of your show is nothing but masterful. 10 out of 10 gabagool. Fucking loved it.
Fucking maroon. Yeah, it's a great show. I've got to do a rewatch myself. Got to get me that HBO Max.
Fucking Will Arnett was in this, man.
I mean, it's had a pretty great cast through and through, honestly. You know, Steve Buscemi was in there at one point, and it's like I said when we first started talking about it, it is patient zero for this TV renaissance that we've had, you know, in the last 20 years, of where TV was a place where not only top tier creators and writers and artists would go, but also actors, and you know, there's a reason that these things get talked about more. It's also opened the door for a lot more criticism, you know, things like fucking, you know, Lord of the Rings and all that kind of guff. Lord of the Rings? No. What's it called? What's the show? The Game of Dragons? Game of Thrones? Fucking Game of Dragons and Dean Reeves.
That's 2 different shows.
That one. Yeah. That's it. And I don't want to watch either of them. Okay. What else was there?
I have watched the entirety of The Pit, which is a medical drama on HBO Max, starring Noah Wyle, who's coming back to medical dramas after being like a character in the ER, or portraying a character in the ER, with George Clooney of all people. I know that Leanne is like a big Grey's Anatomy person. Like she loves that show, and the show is like still going on. It's like fucking 29 seasons or whatever the fuck. This is like I only watched The Resident because it was like a lot of hot people in it.
That's a good enough excuse as any.
And then I through watching The Resident, I found out who Bruce Greenwood was because he was part of it since season 1, and he plays an asshole who has a redemption arc in that show, and it is fucking perfect. He is so good in that show, but like they kill off my favorite character, and I was like, okay, no, I'm out. No, thank you. The Pit, however, is so different. It is in the ER at all times. You don't like, and like each, so like in the entirety of first season is one shift. So like Noah Wiley and like the new residents come in, and so like his character with those residents, it's the 12-hour shift that they have. So each episode is an hour into that shift, and it just goes fucking crazy. It's also like I thought this was shot as a one shot. It isn't, but it has that feel because you're always in that one space with these characters, and it is honestly so fucking good. Like there are a lot of squeamish things. I'll like season 1, episode 1. There's an injury where like the skin of a person's foot has come off.
No. Absolutely not. With the goddamn flaying of people, I won't have it. Skin coming off and stuff. I don't want to hear about it. No, don't talk to me anymore. It's already in my head now, you fucking son of a bitch. Like I hate flaying. I do, like the skin coming off and stuff. Like,
they call it a degloving injury, and then they like fix like the muscle because like the leg is broken, so like they fix the muscle, and then they like put the skin on top and then like adjust it.
Fuck off! I don't care. I will never watch this show now. I'm sure it's excellent. It can't be done.
Yeah, I don't like. The reaction you had at the moment is the same reaction that I had. So there are a lot of parts where I have to just look down and like not watch what they're doing, because they're like, the motherfuckers are injecting into the fucking eyeball, and I can't do that. No, thank you.
It comes up as a very specific thing on movies or TV shows now when you're watching on streaming services, and it says injury detail, and I'm like, delete, never unfriend, don't follow, get whatever this is. Get it out of my face.
But honestly, it's a really good show. Like season 2 is on at the moment, and they've been greenlit for a 3rd season. And Noah Wiley is an incredible actor, and I've only seen him in this.
Well, he was in ER for a really long time.
Yeah,
that was one of the most yobbo things I've ever seen. He was in ER. Yeah. God, we sound horrible down here sometimes. It's like fucking donkeys being assaulted. I love my country and I love my people, but fuck, we have horrible voices sometimes.
So yeah, the Pit is incredible, and it's called The Pit because well, when you watch it, they wow, fucking English is hard, man.
Tell me about it, and it's my first language, so don't even worry.
Yeah, it's incredible, and the performances are great. There are a few people that I'm crushing on, and I've got one of my friends to watch it who's crushing on the same person, so I'm fucking pumped.
It's a sex cast, absolutely. I'll give it that. Even if people are getting fucking boned and deveined and put into shrimp cocktail sauce, I gotta know what's going on.
My next thing was, I might have talked about this, but Department Q. Is a Netflix show. It's not that long, but it's a I almost said it like The Rookie, but for I say it's The Rookie, but for cops, and then I realized that's what The Rookie is. But no, this isn't The Rookie. This is a very like dramatic show about investigators, and so it's about this one investigator who's like the opening scene is like a stakeout going wrong, basically. Like they go in to like So they figure out what's happened in the house, and as they go in, the killer of the murder that they're investigating is inside and like kills two of the members of the team. And so the person who survives is then like given his own department, which is like cold cases from years ago. And they like, I think it's only 6 or 5 episodes, and like till episode 3, you're like, this is good. It's not really going anywhere, and it's two like storylines colliding, and then you realize because it's just him reading the file, the other storyline that you're so invested in, it's already happened. Like she's like the person's been missing for 5 years, and then like the 2 episodes, that the way that they get to the mystery, it is so incredibly well written and so like well acted. It is pure fucking blast.
Right on. It's Sam Claflin is the lead, the guy from was it Daisy and the Six or whatever it is? No, it's not him. It's Matthew Good.
Yes, Matthew Good.
Who was Ozymandias from
yes, Watchmen.
Watchmen, yeah. With a huge dick. Oh no, that was someone else. I mean, maybe he has a huge dick. He didn't have a huge dick in Watchmen. I mean, he might have had a huge dick in Watchmen, but we didn't see it. It was always in pants or a costume. The huge dick is
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan, which is the Billy Crudups, and he had a huge dick. I don't know if Billy Crudup has a huge dick in real life. I've never seen the real dick. I've only seen the blue dick.
And the blue dick is huge.
The blue dick is, I mean, he can manipulate matter. Of course, he's going to give himself a huge hog so that he can fuck his girlfriend's daughter or have whatever happened in that picture. Isn't he with someone older and then he goes after a daughter? Or is it just, no.
No, he has a wife, and then like the fucking shit in the power plant happens. And
he leaves her for Satin Girl or whatever the hell it is.
Well, yeah, because like they fall in love.
No, for some reason I thought that she was the daughter.
He falls in love with her, and then he takes her to another planet and shows her how she is his entire universe, and then she saves the entire fucking universe. And she's like, "Sorry, I can't hear you over that penis. It's really that cock is so big I can't hear a word you're saying. All I'm hearing is nom 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 nom, because that's what we're going to be doing in a minute. I want that blue thing in my fucking orifices." All right. I'm sorry, I can't hear you over my massive cock. All right. Anyway, what's next? All right, I'll go through them really quick. I watched Wonder Man. I was skeptical about it because it was a binge drop. It works really well for a binge drop. It like because they're like, honestly, they're 25-minute episodes, and if you give them weekly, I think the fan reception would have been really, really bad. It's so good. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is fucking phenomenal. This has nothing to do with the MCU, and I just want Simon Williams to be in the MCU so bad because it's so good, and he's not a likable character, but you learn to understand why he's that way. And it's just, he might be a mutant in the MCU, considering they haven't, like, they hinted at, like, the rock song of it and everything. And it's kind of connected to Cloak and Dagger as well. But it's just, like, the connection of it all is fun, but they're never deliberate. They're all, like, okay, they're obviously deliberate, but then don't, like, take over the story. And it's so good. It is so good.
Yeah, Tommy was talking about it. We were recording an episode of No Country this morning, and he was talking about how good it is. And all right, I'll go back. I started it, and I was like, I don't like any of this. It just wasn't jiving with me. But maybe it was just the mood I was in. So yeah, I'll give it another try.
And so with that, I was talking to Juan about something, and we talked about Dairy Girls, which is a 3-season show on Netflix. About the Northern Irish people during the Irish Civil War, basically, or like their war with Great Britain. And so that's the background of the entire series. But it's about this like group of teenage girls who live in Londonderry, and go to a Catholic convent school. And it's a comedy show. The scenarios that are fucking hilarious. The last episode of it is honestly like, it shows you why there's an entire generation of people there whose entire childhood was this war, and then it ended because they had the right to vote and they voted to end it. And but yeah, like it's not that heavy except for the last episode because it had to be that way. But it's so fun. I binged through all of it like in 2 days. I just like we got started talking about, like, me and Juan, we like started to talk about it, and I was like, fuck man, it's been a while since I watched it. And then I just rewatched it, and it was so fun. I really enjoy it a lot. And the accents are just, they're so fun. But they're always like damping them down because, you know, actual Celtic accents are really, really hard to understand. But yeah, it's so fun. So those were my 4 shows and 3 movies. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That's a good amount of stuff. Wonderful. Okay. Well, then let's just have a quick look at the news before we all get fucked. Just a couple of quick ones. Just a couple of quickies. I must tell you, Clayface, the Mike Flanagan written film, has been pushed. It was supposed to originally hit theaters on September 11th. It's a mistake under all circumstances.
What the fuck?
2026. But it's moved to October 23rd because, yeah, wouldn't it be crazy to have a Halloween movie come out at Halloween? So it's the film is part of the DCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, with the initial screenplay by Mike Flanagan and directed by James Watkins, who did Speak No Evil. So, yeah, I'm cool for that. I think it's a much better idea having it come out closer to Halloween because I think then even people who aren't necessarily interested in either the character or the fact that it's a DCU picture will go and see it on Halloween because it's a Halloween movie. And there's only so many of those that come out at that time, you know?
So wait, so it comes out this year, but in October?
Yeah, instead of September. So it comes out like, you know, a week before Halloween, which is a good idea.
I don't know why I thought it was Elseworlds.
That's not my understanding, but you know, it could be too. I don't know. Speaking of things that could come out appropriately at Halloween times, Sony's animated Ghostbusters movie is moving forward with Sam Jarvis of Dollface writing the script. The film will be a Netflix exclusive made by Sony Pictures Animation. I'm totally cool with this. Like, I know people kind of have a problem with the new Ghostbusters movies, and you know, I watched Ghostbusters 2 for New Year's. Actually, I watched it, you know, on New Year's, and I synced up the moment where Bill Murray's character Peter Venkman rappels into the thing and says Happy New Year and got it right on the button, which was super fun. And those movies still exist, and they don't have to be touched by the new stuff. I don't feel like having these new ones out, the ones with McKenna Grace in it, you know, or the one that they did, which was the reboot with the all-female cast. They don't take any of the shine off of Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2, which I still really love. They're still there. They still exist. If you want to engage with the stuff that comes after that, it's the same as Star Wars. Like, if you fucking hate the prequels, don't watch them. Like, you know, it doesn't, what are you upset because you now have what could be other story in your head? Make up your own. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, I don't mind. Animated's a really great way to go. I think it's, you know, that TV series was excellent. So, yeah, why not? Why not? More Ghostbusters, the better, I'd say.
Yeah.
If they're going to keep doing it anyway, might as well try something different.
Yeah. And also, like, making animated, like, immortalizes their franchise into another art form. So that's cool.
Yeah. And do it, like, more classically, like, do it hand-drawn as well, you know. And finally, this is my shit. This is my shit. Yes, hope this is true. Marvel plans a crossover film to conclude the Devil's Reign storyline, which is currently playing out in Daredevil Born Again. Devil's Reign is also was a series in the comics where Matt Murdock basically sanctioned off Hell's Kitchen and became a warlord. It will bring together the street level characters like Spider-Man, Punisher, and the Defenders, and they will team up to take on Kingpin and his enforcers. It looks like that's partly happening in Born Again season 2 anyway, which the trailer for dropped as well. But I'm refusing to watch it. I just want to go in cold when the show starts. But I think if they could bring in, imagine having Tom Holland come in for just a couple episodes, or fucking have Bernthal come in for a couple episodes, or really do it to it where Matt goes crazy and they need to take him down. I think that would be really cool. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of Frank Castle holding Matt Murdock down while he's going fucking berserk is something I would sell my organs to see.
All right, well, let's start doing a tally of which ones are the most profitable for us, and we'll make a pitch to Marvel. Hey, we've got a bunch of organs here for you. What's that? We're arrested. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it suits those particular characters, and it's the same way that the Netflix original series is, like with Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that stuff, they were only tangentially related to the MCU in that they referenced the event and all that stuff. They didn't, and no Avengers popped in or anything like that. It was they were contained while still. It's the same as the comics. You can tell pocket stories everywhere. It doesn't have to be the one thing. And just quickly before we jump into the actual topic of the episode, Catherine O'Hare passed away, which was really, really rough. She was only 71. She passed away on the 30th of January following a brief illness. So I don't know what that is. She's obviously famous from Beetlejuice, Best in Show, and the award-winning turn as Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek. Just the outpour of love for the woman was unmatched, and she was a singular comedic talent. She just raised everybody. Everybody had to come up to meet her whenever she was on screen, particularly as Moira, but throughout all Christopher Guest's work and Beetlejuice in particular. Like, she owns that movie, and she will be sorely missed. So it's just it's really strange to think of her as being gone so suddenly. Yeah, I sent you the message. I was like, I don't think I'm okay after reading that, because it just it happened out of nowhere as well. Like obviously all that news does, but just it was so weird because like a few hours ago I was talking to a friend of mine about how great she is in Schitt's Creek and how incredible she is in the studio. And it's just it happened that day. Certainly crept up. Other things that creep up are M. Night Shyamalan movies. That's a good enough segue as any. We're talking about Unbreakable from the good year of our Lord 2001 or 2002, I think it was. Can't remember. Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, a bunch of other ones, but particularly those two. Bruce Willis plays David Dunn, a security man at a football stadium who is sort of on the outskirts of his own marriage and, has a very strange, symbiotic and I don't know, codependent relationship with his son. And he is in a train accident and survives. He's the only one who survives this train accident. And because of that, he is found by the character of Elijah, played by Samuel Jackson, who is a rare comic book art dealer and who has a very specific condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, which means his bones break far more brittle than other people. They break very, very easily. So he goes after David, thinking that he might be on the opposite end of that spectrum and be the kind of person who can't be injured. And as the story goes along, we discover that this is the origin story of a superhero, and that's all it is. It's you get to the end of this picture, and he will come to it, but he acquires everything that a superhero needs in order to go off and start having adventures. I do feel like Glass, as good of a film Split, as good as a film as it was a great little tease at the end, like, oh shit, this is in part of that. Like, I'll tell that story later about how I discovered that. But Glass is a bit of a letdown. You know, I feel like it could have been. There wasn't the specificity there that there is here. Like Shyamalan was earlier in his. I keep saying that. M. Night Shyamalan. I keep calling Shyamalan, but that's not it. Shyamalan. Shamalada. M. Night. We're just going to go M. Night. Early in his career, he had this specificity of you know, camera movement and framing and all that kind of stuff. It all feels really, up until about Lady in the Water, it all feels really intentional. Whereas as he goes on, it kind of feels like he's just making a movie. So yeah, I said unequivocally in the opening, I love this movie. It's you know, one of my favorite superhero pictures. I think it's a real a love letter to the genre of you know, comic books in particular. You know, even more so than comic book movies, and it's just so expertly executed in terms of how it's made and you know, the performances are, you know, it all rings very true for me. But this is your first experience. And you said you weren't really keen on it. Tell me why.
So before I start, I want to thank you for recommending this, for giving me a film by M. Night Shyamalan and a project by him, honestly, that I don't end up hating, because he did the live-action Avatar movie, the Avatar The Last Airbender film, and we do not talk about that.
And you're going to hold it against him forever.
Yes. And then
That's
he
fair.
did this Apple TV Plus show called Servant, which is all kinds of crazy, but then it gets caught up in its own crazy and doesn't know how to get out of it. And so it ends in the most unsatisfying. Like there's a conversation that needs to be had, and that needs to be had immediately. And you realize that in season 1, and that doesn't happen until the last season. And so there's frustration there. But having said that, Unbreakable feels like a love letter to comic books and people who enjoy reading comic books. And it's so incredibly written, and I was just kidding. I fucking love this.
Oh, you motherfucker! That's the end of the show forever. Fuck you. Okay, great. Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, what are you talking about? This has got everything that you want.
Yeah.
Unless you're backpedaling. Are you backpedaling?
No, absolutely not. I fucking love this. And the reason why I did not like log this on Letterboxd is that I did not want to. I wanted to fuck with you a little. I didn't want you to know.
Yeah, well, just wait until next week when I turn up and I'm a Muppet or something happens, or you sit down and I'm black. And I don't mean I'm going to put blackface on because I'm not a fucking monster. I mean, I will literally go out and hire a black person. Hang on, that sounds worse. I will go out and find myself an actor of color who will come in and play me, and I will pay them for their time. Sorry, just a sidebar. Are you watching Shrinking season 2?
Yes.
So, okay, in that case, tell me what you loved about it. Oh,
everything. Honestly, everything. I was not jiving with Bruce Willis's performance, but then at the end of it, I had a realization that it's intentional, because he's unbreakable physically, but he's a broken man inside, and Elijah is completely different. Not completely different, but completely opposite. Like, he is the most fragile person physically, but he is he has a purpose, or like he believes he has a purpose. And we'll talk about it at the end, but I think the ending, the conversation at the end with both of them, I have my thoughts, but it might be one of my favorite things to ever come out of fiction. Honestly, because it symbolizes so much of it. Like, Elijah's introduced in glass for the first time. How fucking incredible is that?
The opening scene where it's all plays out in that sort of panning up one shot of to the doctor to the mirror to the doctor to the mirror, and he's like, did you drop this baby? And he's like, just fucking God knows. Like, can you tell the ambulance we have a problem? So what's the matter? Is he supposed to be crying that? And he says his arms and his legs are broken. And you only ever see that baby in reflection.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what I'm talking about the specificity. It is framed like a comic book. Every time you see a frame, it is built out the way. It's not built out the way that a cinema screen is filled. It's built out the way that a comic panel is filled.
Oh, yeah.
And he is the what we call the white space between panels. He's just filling all that in a way that no other movie has, no other comic book, because it hasn't had the intent to do that. It hasn't tried to be a comic book. Maybe Sin City, that's it, the Robert Rodriguez picture,
Yeah, that was honestly, I noticed that when he's in the hospital. We're like jumping back and forth, but I noticed that he's in the hospital, and like the conversation that the doctor's having with David Dunn is in the background, and in the foreground is the other survivor who's about to die. Yeah. And through the scene,
and you see the bleed start. Yeah.
And it's
incredible.
It's that comic panel in the middle. And all of it is just like negative space or whatever.
Well, because in comic panels you don't have most of the time you don't. It's a picture. They try to do it in comics sometimes, and it's really jarring. Actually, there's no depth of field. There's no horizon that like nothing drops off either. Like you're always like, if you need to have something in front of a character that is closer to the camera in parentheses than it is the character, you need to articulate what that is and draw it as a bigger scale. That's another really specific discipline that you have to have as a comic book artist, because otherwise you can't get that information across because there's no focus to rack to,
It's like usually it's just like normal rectangle, and even like when he's talking to his wife about like asking her if she ever remembers him getting sick, it's just a slow pushing, where like in a graphic novel it would be like a bunch of fucking dialogue in just that one picture,
just that one panel. Yeah, exactly. And like the wideness of that screen was very popular in the sort of turn of the century when comics became more cinematic. You had like, the Ultimates and all the stuff that Mark Miller was doing, and Planetary, and all of these books that were leaning into cinematic techniques. So much so, Grant Morrison was talking about this, that the pages were now black, so that the boxes were sitting on black as opposed to sitting on white, so that you could again sort of intuit it being a little bit more cinematic. The whole film's like that, like the frames that you could frame. For me, the one that gets me is where the kids who he's just rescued pull him out of the pool, and he lifts himself up. I don't know if anybody has tried to get out of a pool just by lifting yourself up on the side. But it's never easy. I don't care how fucking fit you are. He does it effortlessly and just stands there, and the boot comes down, and the two little girls are looking up at this giant, and the coat sort of sways in slow motion, and the water streaks off it. Like it's such a stunning movie to look at. And I've made the argument plenty, and no one will listen to me about it, but I don't give a fuck. This is a much better movie than The Sixth Sense. Like I think The Sixth Sense is a good movie, but it lives and dies on that twist. But this film, at the end of it, it could be just, we did it, and Elijah isn't the ultimate villain of the piece, and hasn't orchestrated all this stuff just to find David Dunn so that he had his counterpoint, his yin to the yang, and vice versa. That it would still totally work as a film. The Sixth Sense does not work as a film if you don't find out at the end of that Bruce Willis is dead. Yeah,
and like as you said, that film lives and dies on that twist. And I feel like ever since, and like that film has the curse of being Shyamalan's first film.
Yeah, he did another one before that, but his first sort of successful film. Yeah.
And with that, I think like not a lot of people will go into a Shyamalan film not expecting a twist.
He did fuck himself a little bit, yeah honestly, and it was, some of them worked. Signs didn't really have a twist, only in as much as that the aliens were afraid of water or were allergic to water or whatever. Like, well, the fuck are you coming to a planet that's like 70% that, but whatever. And then you had the one for the village, which is like, oh no, we're not in the old timey times, we're the now times or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, this film is its strength is in the telling.
Absolutely.
You're not like sitting there going, ooh. It's the moment to moment stuff. And for me in particular, it is the absolute dedication to reality of these people. Like, that is a fucked up marriage and they can't not be in each other's shit. Like, they have a son to raise. They don't have enough money for one of them to just straight move out. Like, it's the reality of that. And when Robin Wright Penn comes up, well, she's just Robin Wright now, when she comes up and knocks on the door and she's like, I just want you to tell me, like, and it's not going to affect me one way or another. Have you been with anybody else, since we had problems? And you can tell me it's fine. It's not going to, and he says no. And she just breaks down. And the reality of that. And she's like, it's a really big deal that you walked away from that train crash and we need to change this. And then you see the date that they go on and it just opens with rust. And he's like, yeah, the color rust. Like, they're learning things about each other again. Like, it's such a realistic depiction of a relationship breaking down and then having to rebuild from the bottom while you've got to trying to get you to fight crime,
Yeah. I mean, can I just say, I fucking love, oh my God, I call him Nick Fury. I almost fucking call him Nick Fury.
So he would hate that.
Samuel Jackson. I love him in this, and I love him in almost everything he does, but there is so much, there's so much to this character that's that isn't disclosed. It's just like, it's so, there's so much depth to this character, and I don't think that he knows who he is until that confrontation at the end happens, because he is proud and he's heartbroken, but he knows his place in the world and he wasn't expecting it, but now he does. Yeah,
like, I have to be this.
Yeah.
You know how I knew? It was the kids. They called me Mr. Glass. It was, it's really subtle as well. Like, even though there's some definite Sam Jackson moments of like, how old is Jeb? And he's about, he goes, no, this is an infant, this is an art gallery and this is a piece of art, Do you see any Teletubbies around here? Like, you expect him to say motherfucker at the end of it, And I think Bruce's, the mutedness of his performance is I think it's a real dedication to the fact that this guy has been holding on to something and feeling disconnected from his own life ever since that car accident where he faked being hurt. Like, they kind of discover, you see the flashback where he rips the door off the car and saves his girlfriend, and the guy's like, are you hurt? And you just get that moment where he's like, I could fucking pretend I am and get out of all of this shit. He wanted to be that football star, and it's, there's that great line that she says to Elijah when she becomes his rehab doctor. She's like, it's my life. What I do for my job is the opposite of violence, and that's what football's about. And I have a lot of respect for the people who play the game, and I was in awe of the way that he played it, but I don't want violence in my life, which then comes up again later on when the end of it that I'll get to. But David Dunn is just, he's so enclosed. Like, he wears the hood on and the perfect superhero costume, and he already has his security on the back, like, just, and then, he doesn't want to be around his fucking kid because the kid's just like wants to be all over him, and it's like, but Dad, come and play football with these guys, you could beat that other guy. And he's like, no, I'm going to work out with my dad. He's like, I just want to fucking have a moment alone. But the kid is like, well, I'll get to it again. I'll explain later, but he's trying to become something for his dad. And you see that bleed over when he pulls the gun on him. Like that scene will just, I don't care who you are, your anus will close over, even though you know probably no one's going to get hurt. But just where he's like, yeah, if you shoot me, those bullets are going to bounce off, but then I'm going to leave because I thought we were just becoming friends for real. Like everybody has had a conversation like that with their child or with their parent. It's the verisimilitude, the actual, the representation of real life that makes the movie work so much. If it was just big operatic nonsense, like if you made this movie now and put Chris Hemsworth in it, it'd be like, go fuck yourself. It does not work. You need it to be Bruce. And he's fit, but he's not ripped. Like he's pushing the great scene where they're doing the weights. He's like, let's put more on.
Yeah. And like, I love the argument that this is a superhero origin film 100%. But it's not a comic book. Like it's not the generic superhero that you expect it to be. This is more in line with with what a graphic novel would be like, because it's completely different. Yes, it has the same DNA, but it's and it might be the same story, but it's a story from a new from a completely different art style. Like there aren't jokes and quips and David Dunn is a really broken character, and he finds himself because he comes in contact with Mr. Glass, and the way that relationship evolves, and then at the end where you leave it, it is not what you expect or would get in let's say mainstream DC or mainstream Marvel. I feel like that's the strength of it. Also, this is 2000, so the X-Men came out the same year.
Yeah, and there's certainly a feeling of that era, of that time, but to me, and I know he did some poster art for it, but this just feels like if this was a graphic novel, Alex Ross would have illustrated it.
Oh yeah,
the guy did Kingdom Come. Even the palette choices and the softness and the lens choice and the light, the way that a lot of stuff is lit single light source and, or at least, single key source. And then there's a few fills here and there, but it's really, everything is, okay, where's the light coming from? And that's how Alex Ross works. You can always see his light sources. So it's definitely, it's one of my favorite shot pictures as well. I take a lot of my work, the way that I like framing things and stuff from this movie. And I always have. It was around about the time I was getting into filmmaking as well when the film came out. And I was like, this is everything. And nobody else I knew liked it. They didn't get it, and that's fine. There's no judgment on them, but I understood what was being done. David Dunn. Ooh. Okay. Idiot. Just talking about the verisimilitude, like I said, the representation of real life. There are recorded cases of people being able to lift cars and not over their fucking head, but lift something heavy up to let someone out, or, running longer distances when they're under threat, the fight or flight response thing. And it's just a slight exaggeration of that.
Oh, yeah.
Osteogenesis imperfecta is a legitimate condition. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that condition that Sam Jackson's character has is absolutely real, and people do have it. Even something as simple as osteoarthritis could be, similar. Is the fucking horrible thing where he's like, I'm a type 4 or whatever. He's like, type 1s don't last long.
Yeah.
That's just heartbreaking. The super strength thing, the kind of endurance of where he's able to lift, 300 kilos or whatever it is, not effortlessly. It's still really hard, but he can do it, And then you see the stamina that he has when he fights the Family Annihilator guy, the guy who breaks into the house, but we'll get to him in a minute. But the fight, and you see him getting slammed against walls, and he just won't let go. He just won't give up because he has the stamina. But for me, it's the intuition where he puts his hands out and he's like, how did you know that guy, you walk past the dude at the football stadium and he brushes against somebody, and he's standing there with Elijah, and he's like, start doing a pat down to his mate. He's like, what are you doing? Pat downs discourage weapons. People carry weapons when they come in here. If he's carrying, he'll step out of line. And the guy steps out of line, and he's like, "Why did you do that?" Like, he goes, sometimes people have knives. He goes, "You saw a knife?" He's like, "No, I saw a silver gun with a black grip." And then Sam Jackson goes and hurts himself trying to discover that this guy actually did have a gun on him. And then later on, he says, "You need to hone that and work on it." And when he goes to the train station, just holds his hands out and lets people brush past him. And you get a very exaggerated version of intuition. Yeah. He sees these people, the horrible example of the young kid coming back from college and hugging his parents, and he's just fucking date raped someone, and the woman who stole the diamonds and all that stuff. And that's where he sees the janitor, breaking into that guy's house. "I like your house. Can I come in?" "No." And then he pulls the door open and all that horrible shit. But that's intuition about people and situations is very, very real. Sometimes you'd be walking in the city and you'll have to turn a corner and something feels off and you don't know why that is. And you're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to go up a block and go further." Or you're in a conversation with someone and you're like, "This person is absolutely fake. There is nothing real about this person," that is intuition. And then that can be extended further to empathic people who feel other people's feelings, and can take that on and alchemize it sometimes as well. There's definite examples of that. So yeah, I love the reality within the unreality of what Unbreakable is, because you don't get that in comics that often.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's also that scene when he holds out his hands is also the lesson of or the tragedy of being a superhero is that you cannot save everybody. No matter what you do, no matter how many people you save, you will always think about there will always be people that you weren't able to save.
Yeah.
And that's what he's realizing as well.
Yeah. The triage of it, but I feel because he was doing nothing and now he's doing something. It's Elijah says, he holds up the newspaper and it says, family saved by mysterious, daughter saved by mysterious man, parents found dead. He didn't save the parents. He unties the woman from the radiator and she just falls down, and that's life.
Yeah.
But, 2 souls rescued in that moment. That's in the real world, that's something, ask a fireman, that sometimes you don't get everybody out. And I love that about it.
Yeah, I also love that you brought up Alex Ross, because you know what his costume reminded me of?
What's probably the Captain America costume from Earth X, right?
No, it's the Spectre.
Oh, of course, yeah,
right?
Yeah, from Kingdom Come. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's bang on that too. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that might not be an accident, honestly. Yeah, that might not be an accident. I think M. Night is obviously, and look, say what you want about him, the dude is a fucking master. He's an incredible storyteller. He's a really fantastic director. He's a really fantastic screenwriter. I know he had some missteps and whatever, and people kind of wanted him to do one thing or another, but his recent output is fucking amazing. Trap is great. Trap is really good. Old is really good. What's the one he did with Batista?
Oh.
I want to say Cabin in the Woods, but that's not it.
No, that's not it. It's Strangers, I think. Something Strangers.
Yeah, whatever that is.
It's Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin. Excellent picture. The dude's a fucking hell of a talent. And this just happens to be my favorite. It doesn't necessarily mean it's his best. I just feel like that's the one that works the best for me.
I know that Split and Glass are connected to this through meiosis. I don't know what the connection of it is. I just know that they are connected. But I've seen scenes from Split, and there's something in this film that was really jarring, because I know that there's a connection. But the thing is, it was so far away. I don't know if this was, because the thing is, okay, I'll tell you. So when you have the flashback of Elijah and his mom gives him the comic book, or gives him the comic book, and he rotates it, and it's the guy with the green cape fighting a beast here, And
the camera like moves with the comic as it turns, and then the comic stops and the camera keeps going until it rights itself again. Fucking incredible.
Yeah. And I don't know if I don't know if that happens in Split or not, but I know that one of the personalities of James McAvoy in that film is called the Beast, and that's correct. That's what they call like the monster on the cover. They call him the Beast, and he's also he's the guy he's fighting also has a green cape. Yeah,
I think there's definitely stuff there. M. Night might have even said at one point, "Yeah, this is a trilogy," and just couldn't get it made or whatever. And I don't know if he sort of slipped Split under the door, because the end. Have you not seen Split?
I haven't.
Do.
I know.
I'm
going to.
I can't tell my story about it, but when the moment happens that you realize that it is a sequel to Unbreakable, I went and saw it with my mum. She's like, "That Split movie looks good, Reeks. I love a thriller." I'm like, "Cool, Mum, I'll take you the movies for sure." And that moment happens, and it starts by, and we'll come back to this, James Newton Howard's hero theme from Unbreakable, the score. And I'm like, that's fucking lazy. That's really lazy to use that. I know that's from Unbreakable, M. Night, fuck you. And then this scene happens that gives you the information that it's a sequel, and I threw my hands up in the cinema, and my mum was like, "What are you doing? Put it down your hands." I was a fucking 30-year-old man at the time. But yeah, it was just, I couldn't believe it. And to go, and I'm just happy that I'm just happy that I have that moment. It doesn't need to be a great film, whatever. Like Unbreakable is unchanged. This is my favorite film score of all time.
Oh, wow.
Which is a big call, but it's James Newton Howard, like at his peak. It is so melodic and beautiful and waning. Like it wants, the music wants so much, and it is constantly building towards something that never happens until you get that moment where he lifts himself out of the pool, and it finally, after 80 minutes, crescendos, and then he goes in and you get those single piano keys of the villain, and then the thump, and then the huge rising version of the theme that we've heard that was the journey theme has now become the hero theme. And that's when he beats the guy, and he goes in there, and he doesn't do fucking a roundhouse kick or punch him or anything like that. He does what he knows. He's a security guard. He would have been trained in sort of shitty techniques of how to subdue people who have weapons or whatever, just until the police arrive. He puts him in a headlock, and the guy's much bigger than him. He's much stronger than him. And he's throwing him around like a rag doll, but it doesn't matter. He's not letting go, but he chokes this motherfucker out. And that's the thing. And Grant Morrison talked about it on a podcast called Half the Picture recently, and they were talking about this film, and it's one of his favorites. And he said, that's a Jack Kirby fight scene, but contained to a bedroom, and he's doing damage to the wall and all this stuff. Like, it's just... Yeah, I love it so much. It's the perfect denouement. It's the perfect ending to that story. Apart from this scene in the kitchen, which we'll get to in a second. For me, I go back to it really regularly. I've got the 4K. there's something really nice about it, and structurally, it's really great. It's a really good. I just like to dip in and familiarize myself with the techniques and the visuals and the storytelling that's going on there, because it's so rich. And yeah, it is the film of M. Night's that I've seen the most.
It's so weird because like my relationship with M. Night, and like this, because he doesn't know I fucking exist, but my relationship with like his work has been one of disdain, because there's so many things that he could have done that would have made a thing that I really loved be not bad. But then I feel like this is, I love this, man.
Yeah.
Like this is like on point of why I love like graphic novels and comics. Like, this is it. This gives you this is exactly what it feels like to read a graphic novel, and to fall in love with this art form and this tone of just pure imagination, but but this is reimagined into like hyper realism, and it's done so well. And he's in the film as well.
Yeah, he's the guy who gets a pat down because they've done things that he's got drugs on him or whatever. Help you find him. Like, he's always in his movies. He fucking kills Mel Gibson's wife in Signs. So, you know, because he's a shitty drunk driver. Yeah, just fucking excellent picture. Can't recommend enough. You're right. Like, if you watch this and are like, oh man, that was amazing, I'd really love to, you know, I'd love to read some comics or whatever. Like, fucking go back around about this time and find some stuff, you know, Ultimates, Planetary in particular, Warren Ellis and John Cassidy's Planetary is really great. Kingdom Come is exceptional. Marvels is exceptional. Grant Morrison's The Invisibles. Just Preacher. Like, if you want this sort of more grown up, sophisticated take on you know, these kind of themes and stuff. But if you also just want fucking awesome visuals and cool superhero hijinks, the Avengers run I've been talking about by Jason Aaron, which came out in like, you know, 2017 or whatever, is perfect. Like, yeah, just engage with this stuff. I read comics every day and I'm a much happier person for it. But I just want to say before we wind up, and again, I can't, this isn't my thought. This is attributed again to Grant Morrison, who was interviewed on the podcast I was talking about before about it. He said it's the perfect comic book origin movie. And all of it, the reason why is in that final scene in the kitchen. David and his wife, he comes home from saving the day, from saving these young girls, and he hangs up his coat and he lifts her out of bed and carries her effortlessly up the stairs, puts her in bed, and then lays on her and says, and calls back to a line from before, you know, when she said to him, how did you know we were in trouble? And he goes, I had a bad dream and I didn't wake you up to tell me it was going to be okay. And he takes her up to the bed this time and lies down her and says, I had a bad dream. And she says, it's going to be okay. They wake up in the morning and they're in the kitchen, you know, chatting or whatever and having breakfast. And the kid comes in and she gets up and starts making breakfast. And she says, I don't think that we should talk to that Elijah anymore. You know, he's a very, very damaged man. So if he comes up, we should call the police. And Bruce, knowing full well that he's, you know, going to go and see him later that day, he says, yeah, okay. And his son sits at the end of the table. There's a beautiful beat of time where the kid sort of reaches over and pours himself some juice and then sits back down and whatever. And just, you see his POV, and in the corner of his POV, his dad pushes the newspaper into his eye line, and you just see the image of the Guardian, which is the character he ends up being. And he sees it, and he reads the headline, you know, daughter saved, blah, blah, blah. And he looks up at his dad, and David Dunn just nods his head. And the kid starts crying, and he's like, you know, shush, don't cry. And then he mouths, are you okay? And he says, yeah. And he wipes the tears away and sits down. Within that one scene, Bruce Willis's Guardian character gains everything that he needs to in order to be a superhero. He acquires a mission. He has a persona now as well. He is the Guardian. He has a sidekick in his son. And he has a love interest that he has to keep his secret from. So all within that one scene, you have the germination of what a comic book character is or what a superhero character is, and it's fucking flawless. And you know, God bless Grant Morrison for pointing that out to me. They are my Buddha. Grant is the business. Yeah, I adore this film. I'm so glad you actually liked it. As soon as you said you weren't, like, I can't front, I was like, oh man, this episode's going to suck. I don't want to hear about how this movie's bad. It's fucking beautiful. Any final thoughts on The Unbreakable?
Man, I did not expect anything from this film, honestly. I watched it because we were going to do an episode on it, but I ended up loving it a lot. Like it was probably like up there with fucking Logan and X2 for me, because it's just, it is not a
Fuck yeah.
It is not like it's not something that's redefining the genre. It's just showing you what the genre can be without all the, big ass explosions and cool visual effects.
Yeah.
At the core of it, it's a story about humanity and like a little more enhanced person.
And about what you can be if you honestly have faith in who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, he isn't like the Hulk. Like he can lift things and like he's able to do things, but it's not effortless. Like he needs to put the effort in. Like he goes from he goes from like 270 to 350 pounds, lifting that I don't know what it's called.
Dumbbells. Oh no, it's a barbell.
It's a barbell
press. He's doing chest presses, yeah, and they run out of weight, so they gaffer tape cans of paint onto the end of it. Fucking awesome.
It's also, like you said, like he at the end of it has a sidekick in his son, but his son is also like his son is his biggest fan because he just wants it. Like ever since he finds out that this is like a thing that like he can't get hurt. He wants him to be that so bad. Yeah. And then he tries to do it himself, but he realizes that he's not as strong as him. And that's what prompts him to pull out the gun, and like that scene is, it's fucking tense. But
it's a domestic drama all of a sudden. Like
it is
in a real way.
It is absolutely like on point of what that kid would do. To the fact that like I'm surprised you didn't make this connection, but it's like the kid pulling the gun at the guy who played Superman in the Superman TV show, George
Reeves. Yeah.
Because kind of
talked him down. I'd say that's probably an influence. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
because it's like kind of verbatim to what he says to like the kid in real life, right? Like if you shoot the gun, it'll bounce off me, but it'll hit somebody else.
Yeah, someone else will get hurt. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's interesting as well that you said it, because I forgot the story thread where there's a story about David Dunn nearly drowned when he was younger, and that's his weakness is water, and Elijah figures that out. He's like, it's your kryptonite. So he has a weakness too, like it's it really is the perfect articulation of all of this stuff, that I've loved since I was. Got my first comic when I was 4 years old. Like it really encompasses all of that in an adult way. Remarkable picture. Top 3 favorite moments.
Oh, you start. Because my number one is going to take time because I got to talk about the comic book thing at the end. But yeah. Yeah,
sure. I really like the shot we were talking about where it dollies in on him as the doctor's explaining. Really slow dolly as the doctor's explaining that he's the only survivor, and you see the person, who was the only other survivor dying and bleeding out in the foreframe. But also the shot that starts the film, like in the train, and he's sitting on the train and you're looking at him through the seats, and there's a little girl there and she's looking at him, and then when it cuts back to him, that whole interaction with him and the woman plays out in one shot, just moving back and forth between the crack in the chairs. Just absolutely love that. The like I said, that specificity of camera use is something M. Night is unmatched at.
My number 3 is cheesy, but it's when they like pull him out of the pool, and that's his weakness, and so our hero is literally pulling himself out of his biggest weakness and becomes the ideal of like the actual superhero that he's going to become.
That's not cheesy. That's the whole thing. That's the entirety of the story. You've been building this because when M. Night wrote the script originally, that scene happens in the middle of the film, and then the back half of the film was going to be like a proper traditional superhero picture. And then he was like, oh, no, it's much more interesting to do this, So, yeah, I mean, that's a really important way for the film to kind of, tie up its third act. For me, the scene where he finally goes out and he calls Elijah and says, I wasn't hurt in that car crash. And Elijah says, okay, good. You've accepted that. And he says, what do I do? And he goes, you got to go where people are. This isn't going to be easy. It's not going to be like in the comic books. And, basically you're about to see some really ugly shit. And he goes out and he puts his hands out and the score builds and he starts seeing all the visions. I fucking love that scene. There's been like times in my life where I've entered a room and you just feel the weight of everybody's shit and it's so overwhelming. And yet this guy chooses to do right instead of withdraw from that. Just incredible. I love it. I fucking love this shit.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to watch it again tonight. I don't fucking care. 3 times this year.
It's only February.
I know. I don't even give a fuck. No, to be fair, last year was the when I watched it and then again for this. Yeah, so the end of last year and then for this record.
All right. My number 2 is a really split-second thing, and I interpret it as this way. I don't think that this is what happened, but it was deliberate. In the train crash in the beginning, like when he's like looking away and he like kind of figures out what's happening, but it's too late. You see the scenery go away from the window and it's just white for like a frame.
A cut to white, yeah.
I feel like that's something that is so common in like the media that it's referencing, like graphic novels and comic books, is to show something absolute coming from something moving and something real to something completely absolute. And it also shows that something ended. But yeah, it's just like for me, I interpreted it as like him because he's unbreakable. He survives it. But for me, I interpreted that as like him crossing over at one point.
Yeah. Or the this is where the journey begins kind of thing.
Yeah, because for all intents and purposes, when he wakes up in the hospital, he's reborn, right?
Yeah.
This is where it starts for him, and so the life,
absolutely,
the life that he had before it is completely changed, because at the end of it, he gets the girl, and he gets to have the sidekick with his son, and he gets to be this character, and the journey of self-discovery, I guess, happens from that. But like for that to happen, that life of his needs to end, because he needs to accept the things that will eventually make him the guardian. Yeah,
good, excellent observation, absolutely. And I don't think it's an accident that the woman that he's flirting with on the train at the beginning of the film looks like Robin Wright.
Absolutely.
I think that they've done that on purpose, because it's like, I just want that life back, and these are the trials, you have to go through these, the trials of Samson to get to it. Yeah, beautiful. The scene where he goes into the train yard to look at the damage that's been done, and like really, really engage with how miraculous it is that he survived and that it can't be an accident. And then it flashes to the car accident, and you see the flashback of him saving Audrey from the car accident, and you hear the hero theme for the first time there. Like that's where it rises, and when he saves somebody, that's really spectacular too. But I'm right there with you, man. That like the pole coming through the water and the grabbing of it, and he pulls him, because he falls into a pool. For those who haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this, but whatever, you're listening to this without, but when he falls into the pool, and the pool's got one of those plastic covers on it, which killed hundreds of thousands of people in the 90s, I guarantee it. Just fucking pick the leaves out. It's ridiculous. Or get a mesh. I don't know. These things are dangerous. They kill Bruce Willis's all the time. The pole comes in and he pulls himself up and stands. And I don't know how they did it, because this is all practical. There's no CG in this film, which is another thing I love about it. The step up and the huge boot down, and the two girls look up at him, and then the cape, his big security poncho that he's got on, like sweeps into frame and then back out of frame and reveals the two girls there. Is just like, that's it. That's comic books, man. That's comic book movies right there. Like, it can't be denied. And then, whooping that fucking pedophile's ass, or whatever it is, whoever it was up there, Epstein.
Very
we needed to have it
reference.
done on that island. Fucking yeah, absolutely. That's going to date, isn't it? Yeah. What's your number one? I've got to know about it.
All right. My number one is the scene where he goes to meet Elijah at the end.
Yep.
And he tells him what he did.
Well, yeah, we haven't really talked about this. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. And he tells him what he did. And in that moment, Elijah not only realizes not only is he proud of like because he is trying to become like the guy in the chair for this guy. Like he wants him to become a superhero so that his idea of this there being a complete and opposite of him actually existing is so out of field. But that now that it exists, it means that he has a purpose and that he put him there. And so not only is that him realizing and being proud of that, it's also him realizing that he will forever be that villain because he will forever be the opposite. And there is sorrow in that. And like obviously, you know, like David Dunn finds out that this is all of him. Because like even in the news report of the train, like they say that nothing was wrong, which can imply that somebody tampered with it. But you know, like with that revelation being that he is the mastermind for his own ideologies, and for him to like give that, like, I wouldn't call it a speech, but it definitely does feel like it, where he's like, I know who I am now, and I know who you are. And like that's not what he says, but like that's kind of what I'm remembering. And like he has gone from having a purpose to realizing what his purpose is, and his purpose is for him to always be the opposite of what David Dunn is, because he. But
also to. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, because the search starts from him realizing that if he is this way, right? Like if he is breakable yet unbreakable, like if he's fragile on the outside yet unbreakable on the inside, there's somebody who is unbreakable on the outside and fragile on the inside, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, good observation.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, the line is, now that we know who you are, I know who I am. And it's, Elijah has orchestrated all of these things just to find him. And that's also the course. Is I've just given the world its first superhero. And yet David Dunn is like, all those people. Like that he did all this just to find me. And what a great motivation for a hero to then move forward with his quest, to be like, I have to rebuild, I have to make better, I have to, save people, because in order for me to become this, so many people had to die. Yeah, there's a lot of stories I've written in my head that could have been the sequels to this, that's for sure. But that's Unbreakable, everybody, from the year of our Lord 2000, or the year of your Lord 2000, or the year of Buddha, or Vishnu, or Krishna, or Grant Morrison, or Batman, or me and Addy. It doesn't matter. Gods are everywhere. Let's make them all the time. Fuck, that was a weird tangent. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, it's a silly roundup. Do we have any questions?
Oh, we do. So we have question 1, which is by Chaz.
Hey, Chaz.
If you could have any horror director do a comic film, who and what character? So who would direct it and what character would it be?
Okay, I'm going to put my own restriction on this and because it's really easy to say Guillermo del Toro, Constantine, or Justice League Dark, or whatever. I'm going to do a horror director, but they just do a straight comic book movie. I think, and I always say the question because I love it so much. Okay, all right, yes. I would like to see the young woman. She directed Saltburn and the other one, Promising Young Woman.
Emerald Fennell, I think.
Emerald Fennell, or whatever it is.
I'm going to look it up, hold on.
Yeah, excellent director. I would like to see her make an Animal Man picture.
Yes, Emerald Fennell.
And Emerald Fennell, she's great in salads. I would like to see her make an Animal Man picture. Animal Man, the character of Buddy, who can, when he's around an animal, he can borrow their powers. Grant Morrison did an epic run on it in the 90s, and they've had a more recent run during the New 52 that Jeff Lemire did, which was really excellent as well. So yeah, that's my pick.
This is hard because I was trying to go with your rule, but I have one in mind that I thought about, and I can't not say it. Mike Flanagan. doing a character piece on Constantine, starring Andrew Garfield.
Yes, that is the Trinity. Make it happen. Let's put it out into the universe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was going to say something related to like James Wan, but then I realized he did 2 Aquaman films, and it's still probably like those are good because of him.
Yeah, he's an excellent director. Yeah, they're the reasons those movies work at all. So cool. What's question 2?
Oh, dude, you know what would be fucking insane though?
Having sex with clowns. It's true. I don't know what part of the clown that is that makes that noise. You can make up your own ideas.
Mike Flanagan doing a Watchmen adaptation.
Yeah, a bit. To be honest, like Zach's one's pretty good, and the fucking TV series is baller. Like, I know it's not a direct adaptation because it's kind of a sequel, but still.
So question number 2 is, which actor do you think gave the best performance or the strongest performance in Unbreakable?
Yeah, I mean, it would be really easy to say. I think it's a really strong performance from Bruce Willis because it's so out of character for him. Like, it's so against type. But I think Robert Wright Penn fucking owns that film. Like, she is the beating heart of that movie. And so much of what she does affects the story, and you don't notice it. Like, she's not like pedestrian at all. So yeah, I got to go with Robin Wright. She's not Robin Wright Penn anymore. I keep forgetting.
Mine is a generic answer, but I'm going to say Samuel L. Jackson because I love this character so much. I love it so much.
Well, there's a reason that the third film's called Glass. Like, it's his story, you know.
All right. Question number 3 by 1.
1, 2.
So he says, what basic superpower would you want to have, and what will be your weakness?
Invulnerability, like, so to be, you know, not get sick and not get injured and all that kind of stuff, especially now that I'm getting a bit older, like, you know, just fucking get out of bed too quickly and I'll pull something. There's that great line from The Rookie where he's lying in bed and his missus comes in and she's like, what's the matter? He goes, just being over 40 is like waking up in the morning every day and going, why does that hurt? And that's what it's like. So that'd be good. And my weakness would be Toblerone because it already fucking is. Okay. All right already. Don't give me the Toblerone. I'll fuck a vegan in the face for a Toblerone. I'll tell you that much. I love it. It's pointy and almondy and delicious.
Wait, what is?
I'll fuck a vegan in the face for a Toblerone. Can I get that on a t-shirt? Can we get merch going? That'd be great. And it's just like a hippie-looking person, like holding a bag of vegetables while they're being throat fucked by one of those really long Toblerones. No? You don't want that on a t-shirt?
Yes, 100%.
Fine, I'll make my own. What about you? What superpower would you like? To fucking run fast so that you didn't have to goddamn 2.5 hours every day for the train ride.
Well, that's kind of where I was going as well, to like teleportation.
Yeah, that's not basic though. You said basic, like as in low level.
Okay, so basic is okay. I'll give fucking flight. Like
yeah,
fucking
you can have a little bit of it, but you can only go a little bit off the ground.
Okay, come on. That's not fucking fair.
No, but you could float to work and float to school.
Ooh,
like
what's
that,
the point?
Just standing up. I don't know. It's not my game. It's whoever asked this question. That's their game.
This is not teleportation. It's not flight.
Okay.
But I'll go with your fucking thing that I have a good immune system.
Yeah, that's particularly helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the final question?
My weakness is dicks, because it already is.
It's fucking better. Yeah, fucking better than Toblerone, dude. They're better for you, that's for sure. Harder to get. Like, I could get in my car right now and drive somewhere and buy a Toblerone. I can't get in my car right now, drive somewhere and buy a dick.
Well, you could.
Not a real one.
Yeah.
Not an actual dick. Like, I go and get a dildo, or why did I say it like that? Like, that's what it's made out of. I made it out of dildo. What are you talking about? The loaf of bread you're eating, I made it out of dildo, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And you're like, "It's dough that I've kneaded the herb dill into, and it's gonna be nice and kind of like dill flavored, like you were having it, you know, on some fish." Can we make that with dildo? Okay. All right already.
Oh man,
It was a very serious episode. Loving cinema, and now we're talking about nonsense.
Okay, so this isn't a question, but it's a follow up to what one asked, which is big boobs doesn't count as weakness.
It does. If you're in a fight and they're too big and you can't articulate around them, you never know. Well done, everybody, on that one. We went a little bit unhinged there at the beginning, and then it was real all business in the middle, and then crazy again at the end. So that's what you've come to expect from the Film Addicts podcast, episode 85. They called me Mr. Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. We love you all. Keep being you. Keep being excellent. Keep being beautiful. Addie, you're spectacular human. I wouldn't change you at all, superpowers or not.
And you, my friend, are Mr. Unbreakable.
It's if only. If fucking only. So good night, everybody. And remember, fuck hate.
Love wins.